I think how we've been talking lately, about being more intentional about who we're becoming, about deciding on what our next little phase of growth, in life is looking like for us. I've
Mm-hmm.
been getting so much more clarity on myself,
Mm-hmm.
and really cultivating myself into being somebody that I'm honestly very happy with. And I know that even though we haven't been like posting as much and doing a whole bunch of stuff on social media outside of our podcast, I've been so at peace lately because I've been reflecting a lot
Okay.
and spending a lot of time sorting through ways to be able to actually make a meaningful connection and impact on the people that I care about beyond 30 and 60-second clips.
Mm.
And that's led me to, something that I'm working on right now, which is a community for, a brotherhood.
Okay.
And I've been able to spend a lot of time talking to a lot of really amazing guys and seeing that we have so much in common as husbands, as fathers, as men.
Mm.
And it's really given me a heart to want to be able to serve them as best as I can by
Mm-hmm.
getting us all together and having conversations that I think that only we can have.
Mm.
And I'm building that and I'm working on that right now. I'm doing a
Mm.
lot of personal and self work, as I prepare to really unfold what that's going to look like. And
Mm.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for you.
Yes, it's definitely going to be some brand new territory that I'll be stepping into, but
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it because after having the opportunity to have spoken to so many other, guys, like I was saying before, I see the need for true community and connection.
Mm.
And you can't get that in, like I said, 30 and 60-second clips on Instagram.
Right.
And not even just in podcast episodes.
Right.
Like, no, we need a space to where I can reach out to you and talk to you and say, hey, brother, like, what are you dealing with? Like, what's going on here?
Yes.
I noticed you said that you was going through XYZ or whatever. Like, tell me more about that. I've
Mm-hmm.
been through something like that. This is how I navigated that situation. Or here's somebody else who went through a similar situation, and I think their perspective might add some value to you. But
Mm-hmm.
actually being in an environment where we can show that we care through our actions and our words and showing up for one another. And so I think that's about to be a real game changer.
I love that. The last part of what you said, like being able to reach out and touch each other and share what you're going through together. That's something I'm experiencing now in my fitness sisterhood.
Right.
It's like everybody's going through their own individual things, and it's like I want to step outside of the fitness part
Mm-hmm.
because I realize more. It's like, okay, well, fitness is cool and all of that stuff, but we as women are really going through some things, and
Yeah.
fitness is a very small part of that. So being able to be there for my sisters outside of fitness has been more fulfilling than helping them reach their fitness goals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm at a point to where I want to make the woman version of what you're trying to do, because I know like having girlfriends for me has been a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to make girlfriends at this grown up age, and it's hard for me to connect and to stay consistent. So it's like, how can I learn how to do this and help other women do the same thing? Because I know I'm not the only one dealing with that. I made a post about this a few days ago in my stories, and I was asking women like, do you have close friends, and how do you maintain close friends, and how do you cultivate them? And have you done that? And most of them gave me answers where they're like, no, they don't have close friends. No, they don't know how to cultivate them. No, it's hard to maintain it because of life. And I'm like, so I'm not the only one that's dealing with this. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I'm like, how can I figure out a way where we can where I can help cultivate girlfriends? Like just girlfriends, like not and separate from, oh, we trying to get to our goals, oh, we're trying to accomplish. Like, no, like, how you doing, sis? Are you all right?
Actually caring.
Like, what's going on in your life? Like, can I just be here for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's something that I want. Like, I desire that for myself. So I'm like, how can I create this thing where I can be that to someone else? And I pray to God that it can ultimately come back to me too.
I know that's real.
You know what I'm saying? So I think what you're doing is so dope, and I think it's truly needed, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's definitely something I'm leaning towards more so now, because I mean, like I said, I have it with my fitness community, but I'm like, I need something outside of fitness, because for me, fitness hasn't become like, fitness is no longer my top priority anymore, because I've kind of mastered it in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no, like having girlfriends is important to me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having that connection with other women, because it's always just me and you. You know,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. I know like a lot of women reached out to me and was like, well, my man is my friend and my man is my best friend. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But it's certain things that your man can't relate to you on, but that only women can relate to you on.
Right.
And I was saying, I'm like, my husband doesn't give me the sassiness that I need in certain situations. Like, I need sass sometimes, and my husband is he's not sassy. So like, I need that sassiness from women. You know what I'm saying? And it's just certain things that you and I will not be able to ever relate on because they're gender specific. And that's okay. And that's why we need other people outside of us to be our community.
You know what's so interesting about that is knowing that we've grown so much over the years, you know, pursuing stuff professionally and doing all of these things, only to end up coming back to a point to where we've done a lot, you know, in business and in our professional lives and stuff like that, to where now it's like we realize there really isn't anything more special than having great quality people in your life who actually care beyond just your accomplishments and your accolades.
Absolutely.
And it's so hard to come by people who actually care about you as a person more than just what you can do for me in making a deal happen or making some money and stuff like that. And that's not to say that you don't need those particular types of connections and stuff like that. But the most human parts of who we are, the parts that sometimes get the most neglected when it comes to just feeling heard and just feeling like we have real close connections and things like that, like it sometimes get put on the back burner. I gotta forgive me too, man, because I'm getting over a little cold, but we're gonna work through it. But anyway, it's so interesting to me that we've really brought this thing all the way back around. All the way back around to the point now to where we're realizing how important it is to have good quality connections in our lives with people who just care.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like make money off you. I'm not trying to, I don't know, like portray some type of influence over you or anything like that, you know, because what was so interesting to me is that as we're in this world, you know, of social media and creating content and influencing and all this other stuff, and I realized, man, I'm like, I don't see how you can actually show up for people and show that you actually care just by way of content. Just by way of putting out short clips and reels and things like that or whatever. Like, I hope that is valuable to the readers and the listeners or whatever, you know, and especially in our podcast. But I'm like, bro, I'm just as human as you.
Right.
As soon as I get done watching or listening to something or whatever, even if it is really good, in less than 15 seconds, I'm going to scroll. And I'm going to scroll again and I'm going to scroll again. And whatever that was, it left me already. It's gone.
Right.
It might have been really good.
Right.
But now you're an afterthought because the next 10 things I've seen got my attention now. And so we might see something, you know, that really speaks to us. We might hear something that's really moving or impactful, but it's only as impactful as it is in that second before the avalanche of other crap comes right behind it
Right.
to shift that focus and attention.
Right.
And that's just kind of, you know, like the world we in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that keeps us so disconnected, because I don't see a way to really be able to stop and slow down and be present with another person by just social media alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm realizing that more and more these days. Like, we really need more real life connections. And even if it can start online, at least that's just a meeting hub for us to be able to do it in a controlled environment that can eventually grow into us being together in real life, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But it's important, man. We really need to wake up and realize the fact that people do need people in real life.
Right.
And there's more to this journey of life than just chasing a bag, as they say, or getting one, or whatever the terminology is.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've definitely put going after goals in the forefront of our minds, you know, and we've both admitted a few times on the show how we've fumbled connections that were really meaningful to us. And I'm glad to be back in this. I'm glad to be in a space to where we recognize what we did, and we went back and we fixed those things, and now we're moving forward and we're saying, hey, like, how can we make even more connections and help other people do the same thing? Like, because we're not the only one that's dealing with this,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And I think what you told me before, like, loneliness is like the biggest issue right now. Like. And you have all of these followers or all these connections online, but you're still lonely.
Yeah, facing the what they call it, the loneliness epidemic.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really important to have real people in your real life who you can reach out and touch.
Because, you know, it's crazy because we look at all of these things, all of these other things that people are doing, you know, no matter if it's different types of addictions, no matter if it's, you know, being overly consumed in what's happening on social media and online and all of this other stuff. And even down to people's health, you know, like from what people are eating to what they're consuming even in their lives. It's just, to some degree, it's like the more you start to peel back all of these layers, I think somewhere in there, it brings us all back to a place to where we're really trying to we're trying to, what's the word? We're trying to, I don't know what the word is, but what we're trying to do is basically make up for the lack of real world connections and real world meaningful connections that we actually have. And so it's put us in this space to where now we're trying to just fill the holes.
Yeah.
Because I could just say this for me, I never realized how much of an impact having good quality, like, male friends around me had on not only just my life, but also my marriage and my ambition and my drive and all of these other things. Because men have this natural competitiveness when we're around one another. Not to say, oh, I want to beat you and everything or whatever, but it's just, I'm in front of my guys, I got to go harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And come to find out that type of, having that type of dog in you, having that type of energy in you is something that my wife, because I ain't going to speak for other wives out there, like, enjoys. It's something that they love seeing, like somebody out here, you know, going after whatever it is, you know, that they're interested in and getting it and having that high energy, having that sense of, I don't know, like, just straight raw manliness.
It's like a noise. You want to make a noise, like,
you know, like, I don't know what it is. It just make you want to make a noise or something. But, like, it's something that it fuels that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only for you as my wife, but also, like, as a man. And I didn't realize that, you know, for me, for a while, I had kind of got disconnected with that part of me. And that just came from spending so many years at this point of being just me, you, and baby girl.
Yeah.
to where now it's like being just a husband and a father and doing whatever else, it is that I do, but not having that part of me and also not even realizing how important it actually was to me.
Yes.
And I know I've used, different excuses and reasons and stuff like that before of like cutting off connections because, you do got to protect your standards.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And not maintaining certain relationships because of whatever reasons or whatever, but also not following that up to find other good quality relationships as well. Because something could have been done there. But realizing that over the years, it's drastically had an impact on how I show up and how I go after certain things because like I said before, like I didn't realize how much of an impact it had on me and my drive and how I go after things and all of this different stuff or whatever until I didn't have it.
Right.
And then only to find out that when I started speaking to other guys and whatnot, come to find out everybody else was feeling the exact same way. Because especially like as a man, I'm going to say as an intentional husband and father and somebody who's present with the ones he loves because we got to segment people, not everybody goes into the same bucket. So this is the bucket of men that I'm talking about.
Right.
Intentional husbands and fathers who actively show up for the ones in their lives that they love and care about deeply.
Right.
Those type of men can oftentimes, not all, but some of them, like the ones I've spoken to, find themselves in a position where they feel so alone. They feel depressed. They feel like they got the weight of the world on their shoulders because they're trying to show up a certain way and take care of everybody that they love. And they're trying to do all of these things while also protecting their standards and their values by not maintaining certain types of relationships and staying out of certain environments, keeping people away and all of these different things. And eventually, as life continues to progress, you find yourself in a position where it feels like it's just you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, am I the only man like this? Like, I got all this going on, and yeah, I could talk to my wife about it, but she can only understand it from the perspective of like, babe, I understand you, I love you, and I got your back or whatever, which is great. And I do still need that, and men, like, they still need that. But it's something else about having another brother next to you who really gets that.
Yes.
It's like, bro, I carry this weight with you, just the same as you. And knowing that you got somebody in your corner who's like, hey, dog, we got this. You built for this. It's different coming from somebody like that because it's like, you know what? My dog said I got it, so I got it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you understand this? Or like, it's not just me. You going through the same thing and you're making it through it. You going through the same thing and you're making it through. Oh, we making it through it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's lock arms. We got this.
Yeah.
I got a new source of energy. Like, I'm not on the island by myself. We all dealing with this. Okay, bet. I can find a way to be able to navigate this a little bit better. And granted, not every dude needs that, but for the ones that do, it means something.
Yeah.
And so come to find out, I'm one of them dudes, and it means something because I just realized now, man, that having quality connections and relationships and brotherhoods and things like that, like it means something, man, because at the end of the day, we can't take our accomplishments with us. I mean, we can't take relationships with us either. But as our years progress, I think the number of close connections that we have to us is going to matter more than anything.
Yeah.
And the lives that we touch and impact and the people that we're able to share those moments with.
I agree.
So what are you looking forward to cultivating in your sisterhood and your community of women outside of fitness?
I don't even know what that looks like.
If you had to visualize.
Like I can't even that's something that I have been thinking really hard on. Like, what does that look like for me? What do girlfriends look like to me? What does a sisterhood look like to me outside of fitness? Yeah, what does it look like? I know it looks like women who are dope as hell. I know it looks like women who actually care about each other, who are there to support each other and encourage each other on their journeys. Somebody you can actually reach out to and talk to, and they actually give you sound advice. Somebody you can meet up with, have fun with. Like, it ain't even always got to be serious. It ain't always got to be about a struggle, you know?
Right.
So it's just friendship. Just friendship.
Genuine friendship.
Just genuine friendship. I feel like that's what that looks like to me. Just genuine friendship. And I know for a fact, because I did a lot of polls and it was a lot of no's. I know for a fact that a lot of women actually struggle with this. So I'm like, okay, well, how can I create something that I desire to help other people get what they desire too?
How they say, by helping other people get what they want, you ultimately end up getting what you want.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what that actually looks like. Yeah. And like, I know, you can create online stuff, but I'm like, okay, like you said, we can start online, but how can we take it that step further?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where you really feel like you got girlfriends who have your back,
mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel. That's where I'm at with it, and not the superficial stuff where we look cute on social media. Like, I don't go. I don't care about none of that. It's like I really want genuine friendships, and I know what it's like. Like my best friend, like she gives me that, and I know I give that to her. We talk about it all the time, and I'm like, dang, like other women should experience this. And she's the only like one like this, like she's like the person who's like my soulmate type friendship. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I wish I could help other women cultivate what me and her have for them on a wider scale.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's an interesting thought, and when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know how I would do that, but I'm willing to try.
That's pretty much how
and that's it. Like, and I got some girls who waiting on me to create whatever this looks like. So I'm like, all right, I got us.
Like, hey, I'm standing by.
I got us, So yeah.
Yeah, that's really one of those tricky situations. Because I know, like, even with starting like my brotherhood, I was like, man, listen here. I don't exactly know how this is going to unfold in the future, but I could tell you what my vision is as of right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lean on y'all as well. And maybe in the collective sharing of ideas and thoughts and like, what do you need? And y'all sharing that with me, like, we can build it.
Yeah.
Like, I just need a handful of people who believe in it and who actually want it. And we can figure out what that looks like for us and start to build that, because it's like we talked about before, the power of a mastermind. I just need a solid handful of y'all that believe and that have the same values and same desires, whose opinions and things like that, who I trust and stuff of that nature. We get together, man, and I think we can figure something out. Like, we can figure something out because we're not so different.
Right.
Like, we're not so different even on a large scale.
Yeah.
And with enough people getting together about any problem that really care, I think you can figure it out.
Yeah.
And that might just come from having a conversation, with a handful of girls, and talking to them.
The conversations are being had.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being had.
and I mean, like, it can be a little bit challenging, organizing those group conversations, but getting there at some point and just being like, hey, we all feeling this. What's going on here? What area are you in? What are your desires? You know what I mean? And like just pulling from each other's brain. And sometimes in those group discussions, I don't know what it is that happens in the atmosphere when a lot of people get together. You start to think differently, and ideas and thoughts that you typically wouldn't have start to come up just from the energy of the community. And I think in environments like that, you could really figure something out.
Yeah.
So, won't be the end all be all, but I think it's definitely a good productive place to start.
Yeah.
Because we need some good friends out here who we can actually pour into in real life and also be poured into in real life.
Yeah.
Because this world of social media, man, it's corrupting everybody.
Right.
In some shape, form, or fashion. Like, and it's having its impact. I don't care what you think about it. It's having this impact one way or another in your life. And I think one of the best ways we can kind of mitigate the impact of that is by cultivating more meaningful relationships and connections in real life.
Yeah.
And getting around people that actually care about us as people, as individuals. And I think we're going to do something amazing moving forward.
Yeah.
Creating an environment for stuff like this, like for sisterhood, for brotherhood, and then maybe for couples at some point in time as well, because we need each other, man, in real life.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah.
Like, having followers is cool. But for me, over the next 10 years or so, I'm trying to run down like 10, 15 close friends, like close brothers, close relationships of solid individuals who I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I ride for you and they ride for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's hard to come by, but if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah, it's just
but I
something
think
that
it's
you
more
want to
important
be.
to me.
Yeah, it's just something you want to be more intentional about.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
That's why I'm at with it, Boot.
I love it. I'm here for it.
And I'm looking forward to you getting some more solid women around you too, because I know you need that.
I do.
I know you need that. Like, I know I'm pretty great
Oh, God.
as, you know, your husband, and we have some amazing times and stuff.
We do.
But I know you need that female energy around you. You need that. You need that sisterhood. You need that environment that only the ladies can give you, because I can't do that for you.
Yeah.
But
thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be weird.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We get that.
No, don't. I always see these social media clips where they talk about like men being sassy and stuff like that. I always think it's so funny.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying, like, no, thank God that you're not like
that. Not trying to fill those shoes. No, thank you. But yeah, I mean, I think that'll add more value, not only to us individually, but also in our relationship too, by knowing that other parts of us that we find important are also being fed.
Yeah.
And so if we know that it's important, we can't neglect that. So we got to actively do something about it to make it a thing.
Absolutely.
And we'll make it happen, my love.
I already know.
Hey, family, if you guys have enjoyed this kind of different episode,
yeah.
I don't even know how we got to this conversation, but it's whatever. If you've enjoyed it, gotten anything out of it, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all the platforms, man, especially on the podcasting platform, be it Apple or Spotify. My name is John Trone, and this is my beautiful queen,
Adoria.
We are one dope couple family, and until next time, peace and love.